Righty, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll start with a brief introduction of myself, the presenter today, and then we'll do a brief intro of Spreetail, and we'll jump into all of our main topics. Very excited about today. I'm Thaddeus Hay. I'm the Vice President of Growth here at Spreetail. Prior to Spreetail, I was the CEO and co-founder at Nozani, an Amazon marketing agency. We merged with Buybox Experts in 2019, where I became the CRO and partner. And then Spreetail acquired BBE in 2021, and I now lead our new business team here at Spreetail. As you can see, hopefully in the back there, you can see some silos. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's a great day today, 70 degrees or so. Excited to share a little bit about what we're doing out here in the Midwest and some of the exciting things we're learning. I'm going to go ahead and move to the agenda. Like I mentioned, we'll do a brief about Spreetail and then jump into our 6 segments. You can read them there below, but we'll go from marketplace expansion down to finding the right 1P and 3P relationship. This is meant to be a fast-moving webinar with a lot of content, a lot of value. Our hope is that everybody here walks away with something of value that we can change and become better. I find far too often we're involved in initiatives, meetings, activities, events, what have you, that don't really produce change or improvement within our lives. Our hope is that your time today is well utilized, and we're excited to share what took us hours and hours to put together, and it's taken us years and years to build. So we're excited for this opportunity, excited hopefully to give away thousands of dollars of product as well. So stay tuned. To start then, Spreetail, our vision statement here is to propel brands to increase their e-commerce market share across the globe while improving their operational costs. We focus on 4 core pillars within growing brands and removing operational costs. That's global fulfillment and transportation, multi-channel orchestration, brand merchandising, and growth marketing. These are big pillars. Lots could go into them. So if you have further questions, we'd love to discuss. We've been around for about just under 20 years. We've done over $5 billion in GMV across 15 plus marketplace partners, over around 15 years of profitability. So we're a strong and healthy business able to support our brand partners. We have 8 fulfillment centers and nationwide shipping in 1 to 2 days. This next map shows where our fulfillment centers are and talks about some of the coverage that we have across the United States. It enables us to better serve the end consumer, which is something that matters both to us and the brands we support. Now, with the intros out of the way, we're going to dive into the core segments, starting with marketplace expansion. I want to walk you through how each of these segments will go. The first part of the segment will be introducing the giveaway. So each segment will have a different giveaway. Those that participate in the segment through comments or questions, any sort of personal interaction within the chat will be put in as a potential winner for the product. We'll announce the winner at the following segment. So for this first segment, it's a fire table. These are great, right? Especially right now in this season. We're excited to share this. This is an example of an ideal partner that Spreetail works with. It's big, it's bulky, it's a durable, hard good, and it's hard to ship, and we want to get it fast to the end consumer. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the first segment. This is the prize. We'll start with a video, and then we'll run through some data and/or examples of how we're expanding brands and how you should be considering this at your own company, regardless of whether you work with Spreetail or not. We'll start here with Annie Potter, our Senior Director of Channels Management, and she'll walk us through everything. Please pay attention, and we look forward to rejoining in a minute.
Hey everyone, I'm Annie Potter, Senior Director of Marketplace Channels here at Spreetail, and I want to take just a few minutes to dive into a crucial topic for any brand in the world of e-commerce today. The significance of having a robust marketplace presence that is expanding your business to multiple channels is more important than ever. We all recognize the e-commerce landscape is ever-changing and growing rapidly. Online shoppers are loyal to the convenience at their fingertips to purchase everything they could ever want or need online. Nearly 80% of online shoppers are making purchases at least once a month. And this year, U.S. e-commerce sales are expected to exceed $1 trillion. Now, here's the kicker for me, though. Marketplaces like Amazon, Target, Walmart, among many others, see upwards of 70% of shoppers beginning their search right on their platforms. Let that sink in. Rather than search engines, they're extending the full buying journey, even in the research phase, to the retailers they trust and are loyal to. So what does any of this mean for your brand? Well, first off, being present on multiple marketplaces is obviously ensuring you're showing up wherever potential customers are, boosting your overall visibility. And leveraging the trust customers already have in these platforms is like a baked-in endorsement for your brand. Diversifying and expanding your presence also ensures you stay ahead of shifts in consumer behavior. Maybe a shopper is loyal to a channel and researches your product and brand there, but like the almost 90% of online shoppers right now have changed their habits due to inflation and want to monitor price across other retailers before purchasing. Managing multiple marketplaces and doing it right certainly comes with challenges, be it inventory management, pricing consistency, shipping reliability, or the struggle to stand out in a crowd against competitors using advertising and content. It's a juggling act, and one that takes significant time, investment, and resources. As you build your channel expansion strategy, though, it's important to consider the end-to-end experience for your customers and know what channels are looking for. Knowing how to manage everything from inventory, listing management, fulfillment, and everything in between is critical in ensuring your brand is showing up in the right way on these channels. Did you know that 22% of shoppers are abandoning carts because of slow delivery times? You could do everything right to get a customer from search to cart, but if your fulfillment is lacking, you risk not only that sale, but the reputation of your brand could potentially diminish over time. Now, don't let the challenges hold you back. In my role, I have the privilege of working with our channel managers at Spreetail, the engine behind what is driving best-in-class industry-leading programs with our marketplace partners. So I can say with confidence, it's possible to execute a marketplace expansion strategy that aligns not only with your brand, but the expectations of online shoppers. Having a partner like Spreetail to support your expansion and work with you to build brand consistency, no matter how, when, or where a customer is engaging with your brand, can ensure your business thrives long-term and has a piece of that $1 trillion pie. Hey, everyone.
Thanks, Annie. We're going to double click into some of the data she shared and some of the growth that we're seeing on these other channels and give you a few examples of what other brands are saying. So as you can see here, comparing all of the top channels, Amazon Marketplace and Amazon Retail are by far and away the top two channels. Walmart, eBay, the Apple Store, Home Depot, Target, Best Buy, Kroger, Wayfair are kind of the next best channels, if you will. We are seeing this, as you can see, eBay, Walmart, Wayfair, Best Buy, they're really small in comparison to Amazon, but the amount of work that it takes for them to be successful is really similar. So many brands are struggling to do this independently. What we've found is Amazon roughly makes up about 65% of our business. 35% is non-Amazon here in the United States. And you can see on the far right, this is actual data from Spreetail, what the other channels make up. One channel, Home Depot alone, maybe isn't worth standing up a whole team today and targeting. In some categories and with some brands it is, but in general, it's probably not for 8% of the total sales or 5% at Overstock or 2% at Kohl's or 2% at Best Buy. But when you add these together, 35%, that's a substantial amount of business. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars for some of the partners that we work with. And that's why we want to talk about it. It should not be turned away. These consumers are shopping on these channels and there's some sort of loyalty to the channel, or at least loyalty to where they can find the best price at the best shipping with the best shipping experience. What we find is, or what we're expecting is, almost all of these channels, except for the bottom three here, Macy's, eBay, and Wayfair, are expected to grow in 2023, and all but one are expected to grow in 2024. Walmart is expected to outgrow Amazon, although Walmart's growth, obviously, they're still much smaller. And so we do see the opportunity here to focus on these other channels is meaningful for all of the brands that we are supporting. I want to show you a few examples of how this is helping some brands. But first, we'll look at what it takes to manage all of this. Like I said, many brands are struggling to do this all in-house. And so our recommendation to the brands that we partner with and we discuss this opportunity with is to have either an in-house support system, software support system, and or a third-party resource like a Spreetail to support as we grow on these different channels. We'll talk through the different advertising, the coupons, the discounts, all of the different opportunities there are to grow on these other channels in just a minute. I want to show you two specific examples of marketplace expansion. So PJ Wood is a brand new partner of Spreetail as of 2023. This shows us 2 weeks ago, their total sales were about $52,000 for a given week. And you can see Amazon made up just about 60% of their sales. The rest of the channels all participated in that 52,000. They would have seen substantially less sales if they didn't have that expansion. This was a process that took us about 6 to 9 months to build out the total expansion that we see today. I want to show you an example of a much longer term partner. Revashelf started with us in 2019. By Q1 of 2020, we were able to see their channel expansion go from, roughly Amazon mostly to having that sliver. You can see Target, Walmart, eBay, Home Depot, they're all playing a piece in the puzzle. Now in 2023, Q3, so this most recent quarter, Amazon was only about 60% of their business. And the rest of the channels all participated in bigger chunks. This also represented a 201% increase in the total pie. So not only did the business on these other channels grow, but their entire pie grew for e-commerce marketplaces. So it was incremental for their business. At this point, we have a brief calculator that you can take a look at here. Go to our website, scan this QR code. It can give you a rough estimate of what the opportunity is for your product in your category, for your business in your category on these other channels. It's not perfect. So if you have further questions, we'd love to dive in and do additional research with you and for you to help you understand the opportunity that exists. In general, we see this as an opportunity for brands moving into 2024 as they're looking to grow sales. At this point in this segment, we want to give you a chance to take a step back and to think through how important this is for your business and to rate your current marketplace expansion presence on this within the chat. So give it a rating from 1 to 5. This is meant to be a moment for you to have introspection. Where are you at? And even personally, jot down some notes. What are some things you could do right away? Maybe some questions that you want to send to us afterwards, or another provider, or maybe someone else on your team. But we want you to take this moment to think seriously about marketplace expansion. So I'll give you 5-10 seconds here. We'd love to see the chat. And I am seeing a few questions come through. So one question is, are there plans to expand to Canada? Yes, we are expanding to Canada. Best Buy is on the list. We're not currently in Best Buy Canada. And is Spreetail able to provide shopper demographics for each unique marketplaces? For many of them, we are. We're fortunate to be the largest seller on most of these marketplaces. Largest seller on, sorry, someone else on my team is talking to me. The largest seller on most of these marketplaces, on many of these marketplaces, which gives us a lot of weight to address these questions and get the buyer personas, if you will. So thank you. We will move on now to the next segment. We will announce the winner in chat and follow up with you after this discussion, after this webinar, so that we can send the product directly to your home. Thank you for your participation. Look forward to the next one. So brand control is our next topic. This one is really interesting because it's a major problem that many are not focused on. So I'm excited to jump into this in more detail. First, we want to announce our prize number 2 here. This is a weighted blanket. I haven't used one, but they say they're great. So excited for somebody to get this. And we will jump right in with a video from—
Hey everybody, my name is Nate Williamson, and I'm a Director of Merchandising Strategy here at Spreetail. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit about brand control. But first, I wanted to start out with a little story. So about 5 years ago, I started down the path of raising chickens here out at my house. And when I started out, I did a bunch of research on how to build my coop, how many birds I wanted, what kind of birds I could get to produce the most eggs, what to feed my birds so that they could be the happiest and healthiest that they could. And I started my journey with 6 birds. And that went great for me. I was getting amazing farm fresh eggs every single day, and I was very pleased. So I decided to get more birds. And this was amazing during lockdown. I had farm fresh eggs daily that I could share with my friends, my family, my coworkers. You know, the egg supply was down and prices were way up. And so everybody wanted some of the eggs that I had. Unfortunately, about 2 years ago, that everybody turned into everything. and I had my first run-ins with hawks, coyotes, raccoons, you name it. I had about 20 birds by this time, and either the word or the smell had gotten around, and everything wanted a piece of what I had sunk my considerable time and money into creating. My chickens, they became nervous, they became scared, and they weren't producing eggs for me in the same way that they were in the past. So I understood that I needed to take some additional steps to fortify the coop in my yard so that they would be safe in order to produce eggs for me and produce for me for many, many years to come. I started working with our brands regarding brand control about 6 months ago. And right away, I found many parallels with my alter ego as a chicken farmer. Similar to my flock, years ago, brands didn't have to worry about bad actors coming in and disrupting what they worked so hard to create. But in the past year or so, it's become increasingly important to put control in place to prevent the disruption to your brand and continue down the path of growth in your category. See, without control, everyone loses. The more sellers you have on your marketplace, the more opportunity for disruption exists. You have sellers competing for the sale with varying level of capabilities, from growth to inventory control to content management optimization, retail experience, that post-sale customer support, advertising capabilities. At any given time, whichever seller has that slight competitive advantage, whether through pricing, ship speed, or otherwise, they get the sale. So this disruption leads to the potential for poor delivery service, illegitimate, counterfeit, or poorly maintained products getting to your customer, which potentially voids warranties, erosion of retails, profitability, difficulty for you to demand an inventory plan, and a reduced ability to deliver value through content and marketing. This leads to erosion of brand trust with the customers and ultimately your brand underperforming in your category. Without brand control, you can't possibly have a solid market strategy, in my opinion, as you're just rolling the dice every time a sale goes out the door at what experience that customer is going to have. So through brand control and limiting disruption, the key is to get almost every sale out the door through your brand's authorized seller in a way that aligns with your e-commerce strategy. In doing so, you as the brand are able to see consistent brand representation across all channels, optimize advertising, increase review scores, reduce channel conflict, an increase in organic search, and an increase in MAP policy compliance and sales, which leads to optimal growth. So if you're like me and you feel in the pain of the raccoons and the coyotes of the world ruining your hard-earned work, we'd love to have a conversation about getting back in control of your brand. Thank you. Hey, everybody. My name is William.
Thanks, Nate. And yes, we are all farmers out in Nebraska. So appreciate Nate justifying that. I have been a recipient of his duck eggs and his chicken eggs. So it's not a joke. He brings them to the office and hands them to the lucky soul. Anyways, jumping into channel control. But first, we want to announce our prize winner. So prize number 1 was Michael Connor. Thank you for participating, everyone. And we are excited to reach out and deliver that fire pit right to your door, Michael. So thank you for your participation. As we talk through channel control, I want to define it a little bit, as we're going to use Amazon to define it, but this is consistent across all channels. Amazon has a lot of data for us to use here. That's why we're going to use it. We're going to use that as the case. So I want to show you one example we came across recently. This is from a leading brand on Amazon. On the left here, you're going to see this is the buy box percentage. This is the average price. This is the seller information, the rating, and when was the last time that they won the buy box. You'll see their primary seller, this brand's primary seller, is Amazon. Amazon is winning the buy box only 43% of the time over this recent period that we surveyed or that we scraped. 27% goes to Golf Direct Now, 16% goes to Discount Golf World, 8% the Budget Golf, 7% Big Bargains Outlet, etc. Now, why is this a problem? And this is a common occurrence with a lot of brands, from 1P to 3P, all brands in between. Why is this a problem, right? What we find is seller 1 comes to the door and they say, we're going to sell for $50 and we want to advertise. Seller 2 comes to the door and says, we're going to sell for $48, but we're not going to advertise very much. And advertise to us here indicates like commitment to content and marketing, commitment to like lots of different functions that ultimately grow your business and improve market share. Seller 3 says, I'm going to sell for $47.99. and I don't believe in advertising. And seller 4 says, I don't have margin to advertise, but I'm going to sell for $47. The seller 4 wins the buy box in this scenario because they have $47 price. Now, what that means is ultimately we're driving competition between all 4 sellers. They are not worried about our competition who is advertising and growing their business independent of us having this internal competition. They are focused on driving sales that will drive market share. This is what the competitor. So what we need to be able to do is give power to authorized sellers that are focused on growing our business, not capturing a buy box. What we see without this control is increased negative reviews, multiple resellers competing and causing negative effects to the brand, impeded advertising capabilities, eroded advertised prices, and inventory management challenges. Going back to this slide, I want to emphasize only the seller owning the buy box can run the sponsored product ads, but all 4 of these sellers, if they wanted to, could run other types of advertising on Amazon, sponsored brand video, sponsored display, DSP. All that advertising could still be run, but it would drive traffic and sales to maybe a buy box owner that isn't them. Right. And so now we're driving competition within advertising. We're driving competition within price. We're driving competition with a variety of things that ultimately isn't good for our consumer or all the other channels we're selling on. I want to walk you through what we view as an ideal strategy, right? From our experience working with brands, I would say 2013 to maybe like even recently, a lot of brands have just kind of thrown it into the marketplace. So many different retail partners, all doing different plans, some not really playing the game the right way. They're doing, whatever they want. It's not a commitment to grow the brand. It's a commitment to grow their business. And to be honest, at times, Spreetail has played into this, right? At times, we were an unauthorized or a slightly authorized reseller. As we've evolved as a company, we've realized the best scenario for the brand is to have consistency and unity in a plan. In this scenario, a brand has a retail plan that they create either within their own business, in partnership with an accelerator, or some other way that then is consistent across all channels, right? That plan allows for pricing to be seen the same, content to be at parity, marketing to be controlled and executed more than just 43% of the time, as we see in this slide here. We do not want to be limited in our growth and our efforts to just the time we own the buy box. So our experience, we want to list 2 specific examples. One is a little bit different than the other. So the power of brand control. This brand specifically went from 30, we decreased with our partners, decreased 39% of the unauthorized volume from April to October. And it led to a 241% increase in total units sold, with 97% sold at or above MSRP, driving more margin for the business, a better experience for the customer, and more market share. This is an example that just happened over the last 3 months here at Spreetail. ChargePoint, one of our partners, they've consistently had a variety of different sellers on the buy box. Amazon 1P has been their primary, but they've had up to a dozen other sellers that have participated within the buy box. In August, we worked with ChargePoint to launch a brand new to market SKU that was a variation, and we were launching it as the exclusive sellers. This was the first time that ChargePoint was able to create with us an exclusive and really a full advertising campaign. What this produced was driving them to a 197 sales rank within automotive and maintaining the first position in their subcategory. You can see previously a good rank for ChargePoint was in the 1000th, low 1000s. On Prime Day, these guys hit 102. So their rank is at the all-time high, 10 times better almost than it's ever been in history. Because for the first time, we have control on the pricing. We have control on the marketing. We are driving growth to the business in ways that they haven't historically done. I want to highlight there's a long journey here, and Spreetail is willing to cover the cost of brand control for all brands that we engage with. We partner with a company called Voorhees, and Voorhees is the legal firm that gives the brands the right to enforce this channel control. We can talk in more detail about this, but at the end of the day, we are enabling brands to take back their brand and control it so that the price, the listing content, the advertising, all the things driving market share are within your own control. I want to give you a moment to reflect on this for your own brand. Go to Amazon, take a look. How many sellers are selling your product? If you have Keepa, go ahead and take a look at the buy box history. What has been the historical buy box ownership within your products? Is it primarily you? Is it Amazon? Is it somebody else? Do you know of these other sellers? Some of you may say, yes, we've worked on this for a long time, and it's something that we know about, we want to solve, but haven't had the resources or the commitment from the whole business. If that is your answer, we want to support, we want to help. If you have other answers, we'd still love to support and talk. Our goal is to enhance the community of these durable, hard good brands that we are a part of. So take a minute, rate it, shop your channel or shop your products, and please comment again for the opportunity to win a weighted blanket. And I'll catch up on the questions here. So 2 questions right now. How important is 2-day shipping? Does it change by category? We're going to jump into that in just a minute. Do we do due diligence on the products launching into new categories, or sorry, new channels? Yes, absolutely. Not all channels, obviously. Bed Bath & Beyond, formerly Overstock, it's not a fit for every product. Home Depot, in some cases, it's a great fit. In some cases, it's not, right? I think there's a lot of diligence that goes with this. Walmart, Target are better fit for all people, but the consumer on a Target is primarily, it's different than the consumer on Walmart. So like we can play with the data and be able to understand where that opportunity is. Yes, we are in other countries. We're currently live in Germany and the UK and Canada, and we look to launch into other countries next year. So thank you for your participation here. We'll announce the winner here in just a minute. Jumping into channel advertising and marketing. The winner of this segment will receive our Samsonite Travel lightweight suitcase. That's what it's called. I didn't realize how expensive suitcases were until I went to go buy one recently. Don't know why, but yeah, these things are pricey. So we'll jump into the first video, or the video here from Eric Minter, our Senior Director of Brand Services.
We're coming up on the 300th anniversary of the billboard. First billboard was in 1830 for a traveling circus. And although you can argue with the effectiveness of billboards, you can't argue with their impact on society. Well, today I'm here to tell you about a different kind of billboard, an online billboard. My name is Eric Minter, and I'm a Senior Director in our marketing team here at Spreetail. Although online advertising has only been around for 30 years, it's 35 times bigger than these billboard revenues you see behind me. Personally, why I think it is so much bigger is because of how effective they can be and how much you can target. It's not just a random person or a car driving by the billboard. You can effectively measure them and you can target specific customers that you're going after. So whether a customer is starting on Google or on Amazon or beyond, you can really choose the path to purchase and understanding how can you convert a customer that you're looking to convert. So whether it's online advertising or just amazing content, critical components of a marketing team in an e-commerce space today is all about showing up for the brand's presence online and making sure it's represented when somebody finds your product. It is very challenging, though, as you think about all of the different marketing levers and the channels that you have to do that around. You need a full dedicated team, not only setting up these types of campaigns, building amazing content, thinking about search algorithms, but also one to analyze it, to adjust and to adapt on an everyday basis. And that's why you should care about advertising and marketing in the e-commerce space today. Here at Spreetail, we focus on driving traffic and driving conversion for our brands. Everything we do, everything we think about, our marketing team is laser focused on one of those 2 specific metrics. We know that if we do that, we can drive revenue and we can drive POs for our brands, not only in the short term, but long term as well. We're coming.
Thanks, Eric. And we'll jump right into this part of our journey before I keep jumping the gun here. So prize number 2 is Igor. Okay. Thank you again for your participation, and we'll reach out to you with the details. As Eric mentioned, there are so many different ways to market and advertise a product on these channels. Only some of them offer paid media. paid marketing. Some of them offer deals, flash picks, etc. We want to talk through actually some deals, promotions, some off Amazon, off channel opportunities to drive traffic that we've found successful. Typically, I feel like these conversations are all driven toward paid marketing, PPC, DSP, etc. And we want to take a different swing at these things. Not that those things aren't important; they're primary and foundational. But we want to talk about some of the other functions within marketing and advertising. So on Amazon, we have run frequently this thing called the top deal, Walmart flash picks, Target deal of the day, and eBay's primary placement. These different promotional opportunities allow for you to demonstrate and to showcase your product in ways that are rather unique. Amazon top deals are 24-hour long curated deals. You have to submit it and then it's approved. Typically, it's required to be 30% off the last 30 selling price during high velocity events and 20% off if it's not a high velocity event. Think just like business as usual time periods. You submit this and Amazon is approving it. It must be coupled with advertising. There are no restrictions to FBA, SFP, or 1P like there are with Lightning deals. I want to give you a few examples of us running this. I think I came from the agency background and we definitely underutilize promotions on these channels. And it's been so effective for us at Spreetail and driving lasting impact. So Kids Embrace and Hauk. Kids Embrace, they are a kids car seat company. They license all the Disney and Marvel characters. So Frozen and Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not Marvel. What is Spider-Man? Man, this is bad. Spider-Man is Marvel. Okay, good. So they license all these different characters and add them into their car seats. We ran a top deal with them earlier this year, and it generated $368,000 in incremental GMV. And I would say the number one impact here that's important is average weekly GMV since that event in June has driven 30% increase in average weekly GMV. And that's months now of seeing 30% growth week over week, or 30% growth above the pre-event average GMV. Hauk saw an even bigger lift. They were smaller going into the event, launching newly here in the United States from Europe, and they have seen a 100% lift in average weekly GMV since the event. This is once again now several months ago. Let's talk about a Walmart flash pick. Walmart flash picks, these are run for typically a week. They vary in length, but typically start Saturday, runs through Friday. There are a variety of different products that are showcased on this flash pick. Promo prices must be best in the web. So this one, we do have to look and consider how it will affect other channels, specifically suppression on Amazon when we run this. That will need to be a consideration as we launch this flash pick. We always recommend greater than a 3-star review, and content quality score must be above 80%. There are minimum previous last 4 week sales requirements that Walmart will hold you to, but it's typically pretty low. This is an example. Funsicle is an inflatables company. Flash picks drove 1,362% improvement versus pre-campaign GMV and a 3x lift on average weekly GMV since the placement. By utilizing, once again, this deal, this promotional event, we are seeing long-term impacts for incremental growth within the business. Target has a very good deal opportunity as well called Deal of the Day. You must be in this situation, you must be lowest of the season within the Target marketplace. This generates a lot of notable site placement. We've ran historically a lot of like seasonal decor brands, a lot of holiday items, a lot of seasonal items right here. And this has been a fantastic win for our business. For sake of time, we're not going to show you additional examples, but you can see from all the previous examples, these deals are driving incremental GMV, and it's not just within the deal phase. It's driving lasting growth for the brand and lasting market share. As we look at Amazon attribution, this is a new initiative. We'll say relatively new initiative. They've been pushing it for a while, but it's getting better and better. Amazon is incentivizing brands and creators and influencers to drive traffic back into Amazon. There's the brand referral bonus. There's a lot of different things that they're trying to do. They're giving additional data that's never been available before. We expect other channels to follow suit. So we as Spreetail are focusing on how do we drive external traffic into these channels, whether it's Amazon or any other channel. I want to highlight two specific examples. Once again, these are non-traditional, not like giant paid media opportunities, which are always there and foundational. In this situation, Spring Free Trampoline worked with us to get 3 articles published on best reviews in Miami Herald. We then ran a small amount of advertising over the course of 4 months, so $4,000 to boost these articles, and it generated $70,000 of incremental revenue for this specific product. All linking back into Amazon. The Amazon GMV during that period for this specific SKU was $842,000, and this was 8% of GMV directly attributed to the articles posted for this Spring Free Trampoline. Last, I want to talk about TikTok. TikTok is really exciting. Last week, we actually launched on the TikTok marketplace. Who knows how it's going to trend, but what we are finding is it's a very valuable place to generate impressions, awareness. Cost per click is low at the moment, and we're driving a lot of sales for our brands using TikTok. This is one example we ran recently on Prime Day for a brand of ours called Boost Oxygen. Boost Oxygen is a company that the consumer isn't always ready to purchase. We don't always need a Boost Oxygen, but when you're going for a hike or swimming or camping or whatever the physical event you're going to be doing that you want additional oxygen, you want to remember this video or this article that you read or saw or something you saw on TikTok. And so we used TikTok to drive nearly over 500,000 impressions to these videos that we created with the brand. It's really affordable. We only spent $2,000. So these are micro influencers that we're using currently. You can go up, you can go down in your budget. Obviously, there's ways to spend millions of dollars to influencers, but utilizing TikTok and other channels to drive off Amazon traffic or off channel traffic has been meaningful for our brands and is important for us as we look to the future of how to grow market share. I want you to take a minute now to think through your own strategy and journey. How much are you just saying, let's just spend more on sponsored product ads? Or are you trying to introduce new elements of growing your business? I really want you to think through this and be critical of yourself and your business. This is important for the future of e-commerce. So I'll give you a minute and I'll catch up on the questions and then we can jump into the next section. So how does map pricing play into brand control? Map pricing is a critical component of brand control. I think it's probably one of the first steps. I think map enforcement is the biggest question. So having a map price is great, but then being able to enforce that map price is the part where many brands kind of falter. And we have seen that you need legal guidance, legal structure in order to enforce that legally. And that's why we partner with a law firm to do that for our brands. Many brands have map pricing, but if a distributor sells a product to another seller that they don't care about the relationship with that distributor with you, and all of a sudden they're breaking map and they're hurting your buy box percentages, that map policy isn't going to help us in that environment. So it's a good question and happy to dive in more there. Okay. Well, thank you for your participation. Prize 3 goes to Albert G. So thank you again for your participation here. We did get another question. Maybe if you can add some clarification, but when you acquire products, what is your due diligence of the different sections? Yeah, maybe add a little clarification on there before I answer that. So according to there was a previous question about fast shipping. We're going to walk through the benefits of that now after we talk about the winning prize here. So Reathlete Massage Gun. This is a great product and great for all you active people out there. We will announce the winner at the end of this section, but first we'll jump into Jason's video here.
Hi, my name is Jason and I'm the Vice President of Transportation and Trade Compliance here at Spreetail. I want to talk to you briefly about the network that we've developed that enables us to provide fast and affordable shipping services to you. So over the last many years, we've been working to put proper technology in place, find the right carrier partners, and develop a network that enables us to provide delivery services on any size package, not just your 5 or 10 pound package, but also your larger packages, your extra long packages, and even those that are on a pallet that may need to be delivered via LTL service. We've done this in such a way that enables us to provide both speed, affordability, and reduces the touches, which ultimately makes that package more intact when it gets to your end consumer. We've done this through partnership with our carriers in such a way that we are delivering trailers directly to their hubs at the closest point to that end consumer. So for example, out of our Savannah, Georgia facility, we run trucks daily into our partner network in Charlotte, North Carolina, Ocala and Jacksonville, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, and also all the way into Lebanon, Tennessee. This enables us to give you next day delivery service to the entire southwest or southeast part of the United States. Additionally, because the carrier partners do not really like those large packages, this enables them to get it through their network without having to handle those in their hubs where they're really not designed to manage those size packages. So this reduces the amount of touches for them as well, which also then reduces their costs, which we're able to pass on to you. Lastly, we're able to do this all because of one reason, and that's because of the network we built, which includes both the technology, the outbound sortation infrastructure, as well as the volume, because you just have to have enough volume to be able to run all those different line hauls. So we do the same thing in all of our 7 FCs, not just Savannah. And this enables us to get to 80% next day coverage across the US and 97% or better 2-day coverage. So we're able to develop a network to get your package to your customer relatively damage-free and at a fast and affordable price.
Thanks, Jason. So this will hopefully answer some of the previous questions, one of the previous questions. First, we want to talk about marketplace loyalty and shopper behavior. This is from a recent survey that we worked with. So there's 55% of US online shoppers have an active Prime membership in their household. 28% have Prime and Walmart Plus subscriptions, and 21% have Prime and Target Red Card memberships. 76% of US online shoppers are members of one of these 3 leading membership programs. So you can see many consumers are not exclusively loyal to Prime. They're looking at Walmart Plus. They're also looking at Target. And ultimately, the majority of all US consumers are members of these marketplaces, marketplace programs. What that means is that fast, free shipping has become an expectation. The marketplace experience is now the expectation for a consumer on any channel. And this validates the survey that we did with 1,276, sorry, we didn't do this, xdelivery.ai did the survey. 1,276 US online shoppers were surveyed. And the 3 most important factors for a consumer when purchasing on a brand or a retailer website was delivery speed, delivery cost, and then product price. So the consumers care most about these things. This is funny enough, I guess it's not really funny enough. These are all things that Amazon has revolutionized for the consumer. Return policy, promotions and discounts, membership, loyalty, etc. Those things are important to the consumer, but nothing compares to those first 3 topics. So as we consider what is important, why is 2-day shipping important? It's because the consumer expects it, and we will lose sales if we don't have it. Different channels, our direct-to-consumer website, different places will have different effects to conversion. But what we see on Amazon, and I'll walk you through a few examples, is at least a 30% bump when you go from not Prime to Prime, which is a good expectation that we should see that on other channels as well. What we have seen, 28% of consumers abandoned their cart because they needed their purchase quicker than the provided delivery estimate. And the cost of expedited shipping was more than they're willing to pay. 26% of consumers abandoned their cart because they needed purchase immediately, and the retailer did not offer either same-day delivery or in-store pickup options. And 17% of consumers cite that slow delivery experience have caused them to stop shopping on a brand or retailer site. Spreetail, as you saw from Jason's presentation, we are investing millions and millions of dollars into faster, more effective shipping. We're working with our partners to drive that because we believe the future is going to be how many hours does it take for me to get my product, not how many days. And we want to be ready for that future state when the consumer expects that. I want to show you one example of how we've relentlessly optimized our network. This is an actual example for a mattress. So this mattress without Spreetail using FBA was roughly $191 to ship. The storage cost came in at $7.56 per unit. With Spreetail, our estimated costs internally, $96 and storage costs of $2. Now, these costs don't mean that immediately we give $100 back to the brand. What it does mean, though, is that both parties are able to invest more dollars into growing market share rather than just maintaining status quo of getting the product to the consumer. This gives you more budget to advertise, gives us more budget to add additional resources across all of the channels to expand the business. So while we are a margin improvement in many cases, we are not always a margin improvement. Sometimes we're a break-even brand or break-even partner for our brands relative to FBA. But the value is more, market share is more, sales is more. This drives improvement for the overall experience for the brand. I want to recommend that once again, you take a minute to rate your current shipping and logistics experience here. And please comment, please participate. Look at your website, look at Amazon, look at Walmart, look at Target, and ask yourself, would I buy this product? Is this shipping adequate for me? Now, historically, people, there were some categories that maybe people started to expect, hey, if I order a grill, it's okay if it takes a month or a week or, 5 days. But at some point, that expectation will continue to change. We want to be on the forefront of changing that expectation for the consumer or helping that consumer be delighted when they order a grill and the next day it's at their house. Different categories will have different expectations, but at the end of the day, the consumer is experiencing this shift. Looking at some of the questions as you're evaluating your stuff, what social media platform are we seeing move the needle the most? At Spreetail, we're currently investing in TikTok the most. I think Meta, obviously, between Facebook and Instagram are powerful tools and should be used. TikTok is something that I think we're excited about. The change to their marketplace or the addition of their marketplace is exciting, and we want to be a part of that. The other question, warehousing in Canada, or do you cross the dock in the US? Yeah, we cross the dock in the US. We have a line haul, like Jason was talking about, directly into Canada from our Seattle FC and from our Pennsylvania FC. So those line hauls still allow us to be prime in most of Canada as well, without the additional cost of the warehouse. Great. And the winner for this section is Aaron P. Thank you for your participation. We'll jump into prime eligibility, and the winner or the prize for this section is a John Boo's cutting board. These are great. I do have one in my house. Love it. My parents got it for me for a Christmas or a birthday gift or something, and I didn't even know that it was a Spreetail brand, but it is, and we love John Boo's as a partner. So excited for this next winner. We'll let Keely kick us off here as she talks about Prime.
All right, let's talk Prime shipping. 2023, 70% of Amazon customers are Prime subscribers, meaning the convenience that little Prime badge holds, showing fast and free 1 to 2 day shipping, is the key to a clean shopping experience. And honestly, it makes sense. When you think about it, every single time a customer opens their Amazon app or the Amazon webpage, the first thing they're greeted with is that little Prime toggle that allows them to see products that they can get quickly. As a shopper myself, I know it's the first place I go because likely I've waited till the last minute and I know I can depend on Amazon to get it to me in a very quick turnaround. From a seller point of view, you also may be familiar with the importance of shipping at a fast pace, as well as that Prime badging relative to the influence it has on Amazon's A10 algorithm. With the announcement of the opening of SFP, or Seller Fulfilled Prime, it's no doubt that the importance of these qualities will continue to grow and be important to not only maintaining your buy box percentage, but allowing you to grow that percentage. We see that listings with Prime badging ultimately hold up to a 20% GMV lift and allow you to convert at a much higher rate than a non-Prime offer. Today, there are 3 ways to leverage the Prime badge on Amazon. Number 1, FBA or Fulfillment by Amazon, where you're going to send your products in to Amazon. You will maintain ownership of that inventory, but ultimately you'll pay a fee to use the fulfillment networks to get those orders to end. Number 2, you can engage in an Amazon retail or 1P relationship where Amazon is going to go ahead and purchase that inventory from you, bring it into their own warehouses, and distribute those customer orders from there. In that instance, they're likely going to do things like listing optimization, help you decide on pricing, and then ultimately decide when a replenishment order makes sense based on that customer demand. The last opportunity is a program called SFP, or Seller Fulfilled Prime, where ultimately you're using your own warehousing network to offer customers free 1 to 2 day shipping with the expectation that 97% of your orders are arriving on time to the customer. The one common denominator is that Prime badge that customers have come to know, love, and trust. While being an SFP seller comes with its perks, like more minimal fees, access to Amazon's customer base, and inventory control, maintaining enrollment in the program is no easy feat. It actually comes with a luxury list of requirements. There's 12 to be exact. And you're maintaining that while also keeping profitability and margin in mind. Spreetail has been an SFP seller for the past 8 years, since 2015 and the inception of the program. Over those 8 years, we've done a ton of learning, built out a robust fulfillment network, and ultimately gotten to the point that we can offer 1 to 2 day free shipping nationwide with 97% on-time delivery rate. All right.
Thanks, Keely. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Prime eligibility, specifically through the SFP method. I know that this has been in the news a lot lately. SFP was recently opened back up. There was a fee and then there wasn't a fee. We want to talk through what the pre-qualification for SFP is, what the trial period is, and then how to maintain that. Several of you may be saying this is something that you can do on your own, and if so, you should consider this. It is intense and there's a lot of work that's required, but we do want to empower the brands to do the best thing that they can. We do want to empower the brands to ship fast and be the best they can, independent of whether they use Spreetail. So there's like I said, 3 periods here. So a pre-qualification trial is basically a look back window of, have we fulfilled at least 100 packages, canceled less than 2.5%, have we had valid tracking rate greater than 95, and a late shipment rate less than 4%. If you haven't done that in the last 90 days, you are not in the pre-qualification SFP trial. Once you have done that, you can now participate in a 30-day trial where we have to ship more than 100 packages with an on-time delivery rate of 93.5%, valid tracking rate of 99%, and a 0.5% cancellation or less. We must also meet minimum thresholds for 1 day and 2 day delivery. Once we are approved, so we passed the trial and we're now enrolled, you are now required to continue to maintain these, plus additional requirements, like offering free returns on items weighing under 50 pounds, ship and deliver Prime orders on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, or both. All post-order customer service inquiries are now managed by Amazon. So it's quite a feat, but we know a lot of brands like Veridesks and others that have successfully done this on their own. And if this is something that you're interested in, we'd be happy to discuss. It's a valuable move for us that we've seen add a lot of value to our brands. It's not no additional fees. As I mentioned, historically, Amazon, or as recently as like a month ago, there was going to be an extra 2% fee. That now is no longer the case. So it's just whatever your fulfillment fees are. We want to talk about the benefit of Prime, specifically with Amazon. So we talked about the 2 day shipping, 1 day shipping, and how that the consumers are coming to expect that. I want to show you an example of a product that went from not Prime to Prime and just see the total benefit. But essentially, it's more exposure, it's better access to special features, and increased BSR. This was a pool filter product. So it's pool sand. It's 50 pounds. It's heavy. It's awkward. Really, they could buy it for just a few dollars, like $5 at Home Depot. But a lot of consumers are wanting this shipped to their house for the convenience. So we worked with the brand and we identified a projected retail price. And in February, late February, just before March started, we launched their business via Prime on 1 SKU. This was the pool filter sand. And you can see this green line here is the category sales rank. And it immediately started to drop once we launched Prime. And it's consistently dropped until its all-time high. It was under 1,000, so it ranked at 892 in the category, 873, sorry, in the category in April, which was in season, right? It started to get in season in April. And at that point, we were at its best rank ever, more than 2 times better than its previous best. And you can see the associated sales Keep in mind, this is somewhat of a seasonal product, but independent of seasonality, we saw subcategory BSR improvement and category BSR improvement. Subcategory being, the category that also is experiencing seasonality. So we have seen dramatic lifts going from non-prime to prime every single time. Keely mentioned up to 20%. I mentioned 30% or more. We have seen double, triple, quadruple impacts of what's been discussed today. Obviously, we don't advertise that. Typically, I will say 20 to 30% improvement going from non-prime to prime. Now, many of you are already prime, so maybe this section didn't matter that much. Would love to see the rank here. Go ahead and rate yourself, analyze your listings. I'm always surprised how many brands are still not prime, especially we're finding in the durable hard goods, big and bulky space, which is where we specialize. Still many are not prime. Take a look at your own stuff and just give yourself a score. Questions here. Do we offer prime on LTL? Today, we do not. That is something we are actively trying to accomplish. But some channels are more specific and other times the LTL shipments are a little bit more complicated. We are, however, getting shipments within 2 to 5 days on LTL. So still very fast experience. Regardless of size, can Spreetail achieve prime badging on all items? Yes, except for LTL as of right now. And LTL, it varies, but typically it's greater than 150 pounds. Or yeah, roughly 150 pounds. All right, well, thank you for your participation here. We'll announce the winner here shortly. The next topic that we're going to be discussing is finding the right, and this is the last topic, finding the right 1P and 3P relationship. This one's a little bit more personal, specific, and so we won't offer a lot of, I would say, like concrete answers here, but we do have some thoughts that we want to share with everybody. The winner of this prize number 6 will receive a wood pellet grill. This one's a really, actually I've used this one before. It's a great grill, really similar to like a Traeger. The winner from our last segment is Julie I. Thank you again for your participation, and we look forward to sending you your item. So we'll hear from our Chief Merchant, Owen Carr.
Hi, everyone. My name is Owen. I'd like to talk to you about finding the right 1P versus 3P partner. It's critical that as you think about building your brand to be the preeminent and the largest brand in your category and your focus, that you take a very thoughtful approach about how to increase your market share with the right e-commerce strategy, including for Amazon, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and all the other major e-commerce retailers that are out there. Now, there's multiple ways to go about working with marketplaces. There's the 1P model, and that is where you have a relationship directly with that channel. So directly with Target or directly with Amazon. There is a 3P seller channel. Now, this is historically, it was started initially by eBay, right? Because you don't actually buy product directly from eBay. Always eBay works through third-party sellers on the platform, unlike Target, Walmart, Amazon, where there's both a 1P option where those entities buy and hold inventory and take capital risk on it, as well as a third-party option additionally. Now, Amazon years ago launched FBA, which was really at the time kind of a hybrid of the two, because the inventory is not owned by Amazon. It's owned by the third party, fulfillment by Amazon, that puts the product in. However, it is fulfilled by Amazon. It is given Prime enablement status, and there's many other factors to it. And then, of course, Walmart launched WFS, Walmart Fulfillment Services, which is a similar concept and works similarly. And so these are other ways to enact on the marketplace model. And if you're thinking about yourself and how you want to work with that, of course, you can go with 1P or 3P. But if you go on the 3P side, there's multiple branches as well. And so on 3P, you can either ship product yourself out of your own facility. You can use a third-party logistics partner. You can use an accelerator, or you can even sell your business altogether to an aggregator who would then aggregate that business with many others. Or, of course, you can also use WFS or FBA to ship product using those platforms that exist as well. So there's many ways to go to the market. Brands that are really looking to specialize in high quality product, rolling out many great products, building a broad brand base in wholesale and distribution, maybe brick and mortar, not just being pure play only digital native or e-commerce native. Brands that have their own D2C site, perhaps on Shopify or otherwise. These are brands that really benefit from a 3P partnership and using an accelerator because they want to focus more broadly on building their brand. They want to focus on their strategy, and they want to leave all the e-com specific elements and investment profile. They don't want to stand up their own 7 facilities, their own shipping network that can deliver their own customer service, expansive team, reverse logistics, and all these components, their own quality control, compliance, content, marketing. And they realize that they're going to focus on these other areas and let someone else who has a lot of knowledge, data, and focus in those areas do well. 3P is growing much faster than 1P. And additionally, as a part of a 3P accelerator, not only is your brand on Amazon, which is the largest e-commerce marketplace in the US, the brand within Spreetail focuses on over 15 channels, and as well as international in Canada and in the UK and Germany. And so this is a great opportunity to really drive expansion and diversification. And we see many of our partners that are digitally native brands. They work with us in driving to an additional channel, and then they'll eventually work with that brick and mortar team or with that channel to drive overall performance. And so this drives great exposure overall. So in conclusion, as you're thinking about the 1P versus 3P model, our goal at Spreetail is to make sure that you make an informed decision. There are millions of brands out there, and we only work with hundreds and thousands. And so our goal is to make sure that you are making the right decision. And if it makes sense for you to work with us, we want to be there and service you. And there may be many scenarios where it doesn't make sense for you to work with us, and we will be honest with you about that to make sure that you're going the right way to yield your business goals and overall drive market share for your brand.
Thanks, Owen. Yeah, and I would just echo what Owen's saying here. It's very personal by brand. Not that it's like I want to talk about it personal, but it's unique, I guess is probably the right word here. And so we have just one breakdown slide. 1P, right, is selling directly to a marketplace. 3P is managing yourself or through an authorized seller. There are pros and cons that we could talk about and debate it till you're blue in the face. There are reasons that 1P makes sense, right? Whether it's cost of shipping, it's maybe it's a $7 bottle of peanut butter. That's probably something that should go through 1P. They're going to be the best type of partner. Maybe it's long-standing relationships. Maybe it's your economic model. Maybe it's your internal resources capable of breaking it down and shipping individual units or even labeling. There are lots of reasons to want to go 1P, and there are good reasons for it, and vice versa on the 3P side. The question I want us to ask ourselves right now is my program profitable, right? If we are a 1P business, and this probably applies to 3P as well, I think this is a good lens to look at. I've talked to hundreds or maybe thousands of brands over the last decade or so in the space, and I often hear a brand say, I have no idea how Amazon is making money on my product, right? They buy it from me for $50 and they sell it for $50 or whatever, insert cost price. And historically, I think many have had the attitude of, oh, well, who cares? Amazon's okay to not make money. We've seen the transition of Amazon over the last 12, 18 months. Amazon cares about making money. These retailers care about making money. If they've started to move you to drop ship, or they've started to maybe work less with your business, maybe they've started to recommend you go 3P, right? In some cases, Walmart and Target, we're working closely with brands that aren't a fit for them to stock anymore and want to continue to sell on e-commerce. Or maybe they want to stock them in stores for in-stores, but not for e-commerce, right? There's a variety of reasons why this may happen. But ask yourself seriously, is my program profitable? And if it isn't, think about what changes need to be made on your end to either reduce costs appropriately for your retail partner, or what changes need to be done in order to support in another way. Because at some point in time, we firmly believe that profitability will matter more than it has historically. And we're seeing that over and over and over again with brands, especially brands that aren't doing big volumes greater than $50 million on Amazon. So my challenge to you is think about that. I would love to talk to however many of you are interested more about the 1P versus 3P. In our conversations with the category managers at these different marketplaces, we are finding more and more that they are agnostic. Maybe the vendor manager cares deeply about their book, and they should, right? They're incentivized to. But the channel manager or the channel leader or the category leader, et cetera, like they are caring less and less about, is it 1P, is it 3P, and more about, is it growing their business? Is it making the assortment available to the end consumer who is their priority, right? And that is the discussion that we consistently have with these channels. And we firmly believe that's the direction that many of these channels are headed. So we'd love to talk to you more about this. We've worked with a lot of brands that we've transitioned from 1P, brands that we've helped go the opposite way. And so please reach out with any questions there. But last minute of introspection. And I want you to think about not only the 1P, 3P stuff, but I know this sounds cheesy, but really think about the time we've spent today. If we haven't added any value or sparked any thought or maybe idea for your business, please let us know. I would consider that a failure of my part and our team's part here. My hope is that at least one thing stood out that you said, I can be better at that. My team can be better at that. I think all of us in the e-commerce space, things changed so much. 3 years ago, 6 months ago, Spreetail wasn't who we are today. And I would hope that 6 months from now, we're continuing to evolve. And I would hope that all of the brands in this space are doing the same. So my challenge is to be introspective here for a second. Rate your current marketplace relationship in the chat, but also be sure to write down and commit to something that you or your brand can do better. And please let us know if there are any points that we can help with. We'll take a minute and we'll announce the last winner and then finish off here. Yeah, any questions here? Other questions you can put in chat? Just waiting on the last little randomizer. Tim Anderson, yes, we are looking forward to it as well. Welcome aboard. Thanks, Limbesh. And we have the last winner right here. Paul Henshaw. Thank you for your participation, and we look forward to getting you the product. Once again, the marketing team here, my marketing team, will reach out, and we will coordinate delivering that directly to your door, and you can have a Spreetail experience yourself. In summary, the 6 core topics that we talked about today that we would love to dive into any set of details with you in the future is marketplace expansion, brand control, channel advertising and marketing, fast and affordable shipping and logistics, being Prime eligible, and finding the right 1P and 3P relationship. We are so grateful for your time. We know there's a lot of places that you could be today, and thank you for joining. We look forward to your feedback as we plan on rolling more and more of these out and hope to do even shorter segments, longer segments, whatever the interest is from our brand community. So thank you and have a wonderful Q4. Enjoy.